What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? So tonight we have a young man who is going to try and debunk atheism. And he's got illustrations with which to debunk atheism and a logical explanation as to why God definitely exists. So we're going to be analyzing his argument tonight. This guy tonight, he's got an interesting take, and he even brings in some illustrations. So I hope that you guys will appreciate the illustration that he draws. I think it's fabulous, by the way. I think that it's great. I think that, he could have done a little bit more with the shading, but we're going to see what he's got for us tonight.
I don't usually make these videos, but I wanted to make a little short something trying to demonstrate this example that I saw Kent Hovind do in some class on YouTube.
If I may say so, that's where you're going wrong right there, right off the bat, son. First of all, you're watching Kent Hovind seriously. You're not looking at it like it's comedy hour or anything like that. You're taking some serious notes from a man that should not be taken seriously. So, fuck up number one, seriously watching Kent Hovind for information.
A lot of the skeptics that I talk to, one of their main issues concerning God and his existence is if God is real, where is he? Why can't I see him? Why, they rely on that visual. They need the visual. It's just like the earth, the flat earth and the globe earth. People will ignore everything else.
Now, I want you guys to really pay attention here. He just compared atheism to conspiracy theories like the flat earth. And I'm kind of used to this being thrown at me because they call me the exact same thing, a conspiracy theorist, for being a mythicist. And really, all I do is apply the same skepticism that I apply to God existing as I do with Jesus existing. It's really not odd for me to be called a conspiracy theorist, but to hear somebody say that not believing in a God is the same as not believing the earth is round because we can't see it is really ridiculous. First of all, nobody believes that the earth is a globe because we personally went up high enough into orbit in order to see the earth's curvature. We have pictures of it, which gets into the actual point of not being able to detect God. You see, the thing is that we need to be able to detect something that supposedly has its hands in how this universe operates. We need to be able to detect this God figure in some real way if he has real effects in reality. But that's the problem with God, is that we don't have that. We don't have any real effects of God in reality that we can actually test for and detect and know that that is God's work in reality. What we would need, to put this in better terms, is that we would need a verified suspension of the natural order of reality and have that being tied to some kind of supernatural force. Like there would need to be this suspension of reality in order for something to happen, and that's the only way that it could have happened. That's really, really difficult to prove. So really, it's the theists that are kind of putting themselves in a bad spot with the kind of evidence that they would need. But here, he's just labeling everybody that doesn't believe in God because we can't see him, which anybody that says that we can't see God, that's why I don't believe. I think that they're more or less talking about the fact that we can't detect God in some meaningful way, because there's a lot of things that we can't technically see, but we can still detect and know that it's there. So I think people just colloquially say, we can't see it as a way of saying that we can't detect it. So we're all conspiracy theorists, according to this guy, because logic.
The actual logical scientific explanations for these things, they'll ignore all that and they'll just say, you know what? No, I need a picture. Without a picture, I don't know. I can't know. I need a picture. I need to see it, right? So here's the problem with that. Okay, so just for, example's sake, let's say that I'm God and I'm going to make Adam and Eve right now. Boom. Genesis in the making. Here, I'll give Eve a skirt. All right. So I just created Adam and Eve.
I'm sorry, is your illustration two stick figures on a piece of notepad paper? Like, I mean, here's Adam and Eve. I like how you gave Eve a skirt, but you didn't give her a bra. Something tells me you're a titty man. So apparently he has taken on the role of God now, and he is suggesting that God made Adam and Eve as easy as it was just drawing them on a piece of paper. I guess maybe he doesn't understand that Eve was made from the rib of a guy, Adam, and also that Adam and Eve story is not a real thing that happened in history. I'm guessing he's using this illustration to tell us why wanting some kind of verifiable evidence of God is a bad thing. I'm not exactly sure where he's going with this, with creating two stick figures and calling them Adam and Eve. You know, that's a good point, honey. Is Professor Stick God? I guess we'll never know. I mean, I'm not saying Professor Stick is God. I'm just saying we don't know.
This is my creation. These two, they exist within my creation. As far as they can see, I'm all powerful. I can do whatever for them. I have total control of their little reality here. I can give them anything, take anything away. I can do anything. I'm in control.
Right. And so if God is capable of doing that, and he's done it in the past, we should be able to detect those things. We should be able to determine that some supernatural event happened in some kind of way. So I feel like this is like an argument against the divine hiddenness argument. That's what, because I feel like that's what he's actually attacking here, is the idea of God being hidden to us and not revealing himself to all of us. And I mean, to that, I would any argument that you could bring up, I would just have to say that God would know how to appear to each person individually so that they would be convinced. But yet he chooses not to do that. He knows what would convince us, but he chooses not to give us that which would convince us. It seems like a dick move to me.
But the one thing I can't do is go inside myself. I can't be inside this because it's my creation. I'm the creator. I can't, so.
He can't go inside, honey. He can't go inside his creation. Although he definitely fucked that one hard in the New Testament, didn't he?
I thought he said he can't go inside himself.
Well, he can't go inside himself for one, but he also said that he can't go inside his creation.
I'm going to have to say I disagree with the can't go inside yourself. His head is really far up his ass.
KC said that this guy's head is really far up his ass. So his first thing's debunked because he's got his head up his ass. And then obviously God has done things, or like in the case of Mary in the New Testament, he's definitely gone inside of some of us.
If I was able to blow life into these two somehow.
Phrasing! I'm sure that you could blow life into these two.
And they had minds of their own, right? And they could see and move left, right, up, and down, but nowhere else, right? Because they're confined within this second dimensional realm.
A second dimensional realm? I mean, I think you meant 2D reality. Like, apparently these you've created a reality on your notepad here, and you've drawn stick figures, thus creating them a lot like God created this 4-dimensional or multi-dimensional, I guess, maybe, reality that we have now. So, and I don't know, you're building a kind of weird sort of alternate 2-dimensional reality here. It's odd.
So if I was to do something like put my finger on the paper, they would see that as just being like, what, a line. They would just see they'd just be walking and just see a line in front of them.
All right, so if this were the case, that they would be walking and then they just see a line in front of them, that's still something detectable that we would be able to determine in this reality, like what that is, right? So, I mean, your analogy here is kind of fucked up as far as what they would experience in a 2-dimensional reality. I don't know how you would know what they would see if it would just be a line that was on there. I guess I don't understand the point that you're trying to make with the 2-dimensional reality thing. But in any case, let's say that makes sense. If it makes sense to anybody in the comments or in the live chat, please let me know. It's still something detectable that we should be able to determine that it was like supernatural that occurred in reality. To me, it just seems like you're making my point.
And what does that mean to them? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's just a line. Like, what the fuck? But in reality, it's me, God. And I can't even begin to explain to these two what I am or who I am, because they'll never understand. They're confined within this reality. They can't. I can't explain to them. They can't know.
So let me get this straight. Your all-knowing, omnipotent, all-powerful creator is limited by the creation that he made? Like, you would think that he would be able to determine how to describe what happened to them in a way that would make sense to them, right? Like, I mean, you understand how illogical you're being with respect to your own religion right now. Because at least the big three religions that you're most likely a part of, one of them being Christianity, which I think is what you are, you're violating the whole omnipotent and omniscient kind of thing, all knowing and ever present. Like, I feel like him being unable to describe himself in a way that would make sense to us makes him not all powerful.
Unless maybe they die and end up here, you know?
End up fucking where? Where are you fucking talking about? When stick people die, do they become real boys? Is that what you're saying? Like, I have no idea what is the connection between death and understanding God? Like, you're telling me that I can't understand God until I die. Well, that just seems like you're moving the goalposts into a position that I'm just never going to be able to understand anything about God, at least not until I die. And that kind of pushes it out of the realm of possibility of knowing. Uhan Roderick says, so God can do anything, except he can't. That's a good point, Uhan, because earlier in this thing, he said, God can do anything. He can be everywhere, and he can just take things out of this universe, and he can put things in this universe, and he can do anything. Can he explain himself to us? He can do anything he wants, but he can't do that. Oh, no, he can't do that, or he won't do that.
But that's my whole point. You can't rely that it's a weak argument to say, okay, if God is real, then why can't I see him? Where is he? It's a really weak argument, because we are the creation. We are the creation, you know, so.
What does it matter that we're the creation? I would love for you to elaborate on this. It's been 3 years since you posted this up. I don't think that you'll actually explain yourself, but I guess I don't understand this inability to grasp God. Creations should be able to grasp what created them. Like, I certainly grasped the fact that my mom created me. Like, my mom and my dad, they both created me. And I can grasp that fact. Like, I can understand my parents. Why can't I understand God? What is so elusive and mysterious to him? Also, the fact that we cannot detect any kind of God to exist anywhere is actually one of the most solid reasons that you could have to not believe in that God, right? I mean, if I gave you no evidence whatsoever and claimed that magical rainbow-colored leprechauns were just unable to be detected in this reality, but they do exist. The inability to detect these things, the inability to actually ascertain whether or not they do exist, is the fundamental place that you need to start whenever somebody hands you a load of bullshit.
What proves God is his creation, right? So I can get creative, and I can try and, like, if I wanted these people to know that I exist, what can I do? I can fill the sky with trillions of stars and have them form beautiful constellations.
I'm sorry, but unless those constellations spell out in every single fucking language that, hey guys, I'm God, Jesus is coming to die, signed Yahweh. Even then, I think that you would need more evidence than that, because constellations in the sky, you can draw fucking lines and arrows and dots and everything like that to different stars. You can have it spell out Yahweh now if you really wanted it to. But see, the fact is that just because the world and nature and this universe exists does not inherently prove God. Like, you're making a total logical leap here to the God explanation when we have all these perfectly good natural explanations that would trump any supernatural explanation. Just saying God did it is a fucking lazy answer, right? So I don't know why that's compelling to you, the fact that shit exists, therefore God exists. That's not a good reason to believe in God, in my opinion.
I can basically put my artwork all around them. That's all I can do. I can just show them my work, show them my creations, and hope they take a hint, you know?
Hope we take a hint. The fuck are you talking about? Hope we take a hint. Like, there's nothing to hint towards God. If there's a hint at all, it's the fact that God doesn't exist. Everything that has happened in the past has a natural process to explain it. So if there is a hint at all anywhere, God, if he exists, has made it to look like he just doesn't exist. So the hint here is that he doesn't exist. So I don't understand why you think that something that appears to be designed, which is kind of what he's getting at here, is that the universe is here. It appears to be designed. The earth, it appears to be designed. Therefore, God exists. Get the hint, motherfucker, is basically what he's saying. But see, the thing is that just because it looks designed does not mean that it actually is designed. You have to be able to prove that it was designed. You got to be able to prove that God is the one that designed it, specifically your God.
But that's it. And that's exactly what's happening, you know? People think it's so funny when you say that literally everything is proof of God. Life is proof of God. This video is proof of God. They laugh at that. They think it's stupid, but it's true.
No, it's not true. If this video is proof of God, God has some shitty fucking evidence. He obviously does have some shitty fucking evidence. Again, this video doesn't go anywhere near proving God. You've just logically leapt to the conclusion of God just because you think that it would require a deity in order to create the universe, in order for nature to be created, in order for humans to be created. You think the easiest answer is that God did it. But what you fail to realize is that God did it doesn't actually answer any fucking thing, right? Like, saying God did it doesn't actually give me the water cycle. I mean, prior to understanding the water cycle, we just thought God did a flash and he farted. Like, that's what we thought was causing thunder and lightning, was God shit going on, right? And then we understood the water cycle, we understood lightning, we understood rain, and then we didn't need God for that explanation anymore. So actual natural explanations definitely will always supersede supernatural ones, because supernatural ones are just kind of lazy arguments. They just sort of throw their hands up in the air. It's like, well, fuck it, I guess God did it. That's what caused shit to happen. God did it. Instead of actually figuring shit out.
It's true. And the things that are most true and most profound will be laughed at by most people, I've learned. That's
well, shit, that just proved mythicism is definitely the truth, because people laugh at that shit all the time. My guess is that you'd laugh your ass off at mythicism too. That only furthers to prove my point using your own fucking argument there, bud. But no, just because people laugh at it doesn't mean that it's true. I don't know why you're making that completely illogical conclusion here, that when people think something is crazy and laughable, that means it's inherently true. My guess is that for other things that you would personally laugh at, you would agree that it's not true. But by this reasoning here, you would be contradicting yourself.
That's a whole nother subject. But yeah, that was my whole point. As stubborn as I might seem to some people online, I'm not. I definitely appreciate when people come forward and tell me what they think I'm wrong about. Like,
oh, good. Rewind this and see the entire fucking video, because that's what's wrong with your video. Just everything that I've said.
If it comes to a fact or just a way of my thinking, anything that you see that is wrong is flawed, I would love for you to give me your input. Let me know, because that's how I grow. I feed off of that.
I mean, this is pretty much the end of the video. I think there's like 5 seconds left. I'm glad that you're up for being proven wrong, because other people have probably pointed out the issues with your video. So I'll definitely be looking for any follow-ups that you did to this, so that maybe you came back around and you realized how contradictory you were being, or something like that. I don't know. I hope that you kind of came back around and you revisited this and you changed like your thinking on it. But we'll just have to see. I'll have to peruse your channel. But in any case, I'm glad that you're open for constructive criticism. I felt like I gave a bit more criticism than being constructive here tonight. I guess I didn't really expect you to be so open to being shown how you're wrong. In any case, I hope that you do continue to grow, good sir. I also strive to continue to grow. So we're both the same in that way. I'll have to check out the rest of your content, see if you ever did a follow-up to this, and I guess we'll be checking in sometime later. All right, well, that's going to be it for the response video tonight. I hope that you heathens enjoyed it. It was kind of short. It was a short video, but I think it had some really great content there. And I guess see you guys probably Monday. I hope that you guys will drop a like down below, smash that like button, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But in any case, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.